Kia ora. I call Adrian Rudrahui.
Tēnā koe, Mr.
Tēnā koe.
Chair. It's a pleasure to take a call on the Waitangi National Trust Board Amendment Bill, or in Te Reo Māori, te pire whakatikitiki te poari pou tiaki a motu o Waitangi. And I can tell you, if you put the comma in the wrong place, you could be fixing up the board, not the bill. And so I suggest that there should be a comma after whakatikatika, definitely not after pere. But so I also want to mihi to the four whānau that now have the, through this legislation, will have the opportunity to appoint a member to this board. So mihi ana hau ki te whānau o Hone Heke, te whānau o Maihi Kawiti, te whānau o Tāmati Wakanene, me te whānau o Pōmare, because this is a very new thing that they now, under this bill, will have the right to, as of right, to have a seat at that board. And I think it's really important that all of the descendants of that had a part to play in gifting this piece of land to the nation has a right to sit on the board so that they can have a input into how that it's governed and managed. And so the governance of such things is a very important thing, and of course that's the whole point of amending this bill so that it can be better governed. And I've taken note of the contributions from those members that sit on the select committee. And whilst there is some have expressed concern at the removal of those government members who sit on there as right of the position that they hold, I think it's a reflection of moving forward to a better place in having those members who will now form the Crown Representatives Group into a more partnership model rather than one that actually sits on the as in a governance role. So I acknowledge that, and I think that's, from my point of view, that's a really good idea, because one, it maintains the relationship at a very high level between those members without them having to actually be members of the trust board. I think also want to acknowledge that in place of that there are going to be nominated members of the board, one nominated by the Prime Minister and one nominated by the Leader of the Opposition. And I think that in a way expresses the importance to the nation that the Parliament is represented on that trust board. So I just want to acknowledge that as well. And the contributions from the members on this particular board bill I've really enjoyed. I think it is a fair reflection of our growing nationhood. I think it's a fair reflection of the relationship between treaty partners. And I think we have a very long, we've come a long way, and I think we've got some way to go yet. But I think this particular bill is a good reflection of our treaty relationship. And so I don't want to make carry on too long on this. The other thing I wanted to acknowledge is the term of appointment. That it will be a maximum of 9 years. I also support that. I think that's a good idea to rejuvenate, to bring new people in. But I would suggest that there be worked out addressing the issue of continuity so that you don't have a wholesale change of membership after 3 years. I think that would be problematic. I think there's a case to be had where those are staggered. Nō reira, kaore ro tēnei tū, o tira e tika ana kia tuku mihi atu ki te whare nei. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Chair.